New One Keir t-shirts available on our website. Go to britishstand.com or check the link in the description. And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stan, guys. I hope you're all well. I am your host Dan, and today we're going to be reacting to some footage as Keir Starmer was confronted over the alleged COVID breaches back in 2020. Now, the topic of discussion for most of the last 24 hours, of course, has been that revelation from Guido Fawkes, and it's been spoke about on every single mainstream media platform in regard to Keir Starmer. Of course, the situation is, to round it up slightly, of course, Keir Starmer has, of course, been accused of breaking COVID rules in December 2020 when he employed an actress and a voice coach, Leonie Melinger, to help him prepare a response to Boris Johnson. Now, at the time, London, of course, and the South East were under Tier 4 restrictions, which meant no households were allowed to mix and people had to work from home unless they were unable to do so. Of course, the Tories and the Conservative former Minister Richard Holden has written to Keir asking what he thinks with regard to breaching the law and asks for an immediate investigation into Keir Starmer. I mean, it's seriously fishy. I mean, I remember that time, of course, December 2020, especially in London, especially in the south east of the country. It was under really strict lockdown procedures. Now, Keir Starmer will likely worm himself out, and we're going to take his reaction very soon. But with regard to this in particular situation, I mean, a voice actor or a voice coach, sorry, could that not be done on Zoom? If it's not actually, work that's a key worker, is it? Regardless of him being a politician, she could have done her job on Zoom. So again, I definitely think there is some sort of breach there and certainly should be investigated. But either way, Keir was at some speech today and was confronted about it afterwards. And look, he's absolutely rattled. And this is definitely wrote PMQs for Wednesday. Let's have a watch.
By the front. Thank you very much.
All right, that's all we have time for. Thank you.
Of course not.
Does anyone hate that smug face of Keir Starmer? Again, his ego is definitely hurt there big time, and of course all the rules were followed. Again, well, we haven't heard a Downing Street statement at the time of recording just yet. All we heard was a spokesman from the Labour Party stating that all rules were followed. Literally what he said when confronted about it. But certainly, PMQs is certainly written itself, and I definitely think that there should be an investigation into Keir Starmer and these alleged breaches that's happened. I mean, it's not the first time it's came up. And I remember this time where he came out on a speech talking about Beergate, of course, where he was out having a curry and a beer in a house, of course, in the midst of lockdown with his Labour peers. And of course, he defended that as just having a bite to eat after work and what every politician would be doing preparing for an election. But he got away with that one. But surely with this one, especially at that time during the COVID lockdowns, there were such strict rules. Tier 4, I remember it. And there's no way of pulling the wool over and trying to say that a voice actor is a key worker. Absolutely not. No, they're not. They could have done that job on Zoom. If you wanted a voice actor that much, or a voice coach, or whatever the hell she was, then you could have done that on Zoom. It was no problem. It's not needed to be in person, especially at that time. And to be fair, I'm not that passionate about the lockdown that much, but I'm just passionate on this tip because he was the one that was championing for Boris Johnson to step down for breaking the rules at Partygate. And he was the main man championing that at the time. So he did it. He should be stepping down by that theory. And I look forward to seeing an investigation. Now, guys, I know that video was very short. So for those of you that want to see it again and see his response again, I'll get it up quickly. Have a watch.
By the front. Thank you very much.
All right, that's all we have time for. Thank you.
Of course not.
Smug bloke, really. It's definitely hurt his ego, and I'm looking forward to hearing a follow-up at PMQs on Wednesday. hopefully. So we'll start to hear a little bit more. But typical Starmer fashion, it's always out the back door and never really confronting things full on without his script. He needs a script, remember, to really rattle off and actually speak to the public when asked questions, because he literally is AI. He's like, when you see him in PMQs, he's always looking down at that book to see what scripted answer he has. And he didn't have the script. It was almost like a computer malfunction. It's like, oh, you've been asked a question that you don't know about? Of course not. Walking out the door and not confronting it. So yeah, absolute hit. I mean, I probably could say a lot worse words than to sum up what I think about him, but certainly want to see an investigation happen. And certainly if it's proven that he did break the COVID breaches or COVID laws or whatever they were, then he must step down, because he was the main man championing them. Guys, as always, get your thoughts in the live chat and let me know what you think about this hypocrite down there in the live chat. We'll take some comments and all that good stuff. But thank you for tuning in as always. A lot of support here on British Stan recently, just past 160,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for all of your support. Do get involved, as stated, in the live chat. I'll bring up some comments. Let's spark some conversation. What did you make of Starmer's response, and what did you make of Starmer in general with regard to breaking these COVID breaches? Let's have a little look at some of the good comments. Was he clearing the mouth of the voice coach? I mean, yeah, possibly. I don't know what he is in terms of the voice coach was for, because it's certainly not worked. He might want to get a refund whilst being investigated as well, because it's certainly not done him any work. Let's have a look here again. 200k soon? Yes, hopefully. Let's take some more. I mean, there's some quite good comments here about him needing oral coaching and all this sorts of stuff. Funky says he's above the law and dictates it. He won't go anywhere. Now, look, this is the thing with Keir. Since he's came in, since that general election, there's been so many different scandals, that have kind of creeped up, but they always find themselves brushed under the carpet. And then we never really hear much about it after that. It's more like, it pops up, and whether it was the donation thing, I mean, but did we ever get to a resolution or the end of that Lord Alley stuff? I mean, I don't think we ever got to that. I mean, the Southport thing, this is kind of just staying as it is at this moment in time. The grooming gangs, all this other stuff, sending the Labour MPs out to America to interfere with the elections. I mean, there's just so many different scandals, and this only happened back in July, for God's sake. I mean, he's not been in the door that long. And there's just so many different things. It's like every single week you go by, he's always in some sort of scandal. And this is the latest one. And I think there was one yesterday as well with the EU. There was one with yesterday with regard to the EU, that Labour apparently facing an investigation due to donations there. So this guy's up to his eyeballs in scandal after scandal. And yeah, this is just the latest one. But he somehow just keeps on getting away with it and never hold to account. What else have we got here? Motivational Humour says, strange thing is some people in the UK still trust Starmer despite everything he has done. Actually, I never really heard of too much of a Labour supporter. I've seen Labour supporters now and then, as I said, they're not really my friends, but I actually spoke to someone on the phone call yesterday, and I won't name his name and keep it private, but he was saying that a close, friend, relative, or whatever is a big Labour fan, Labour supporter, despite the mess that we're currently in this country. I found that really, really crazy. I don't know how you can get behind it. And to be fair, if you look at the polling, folks, there's still 23% of people in the United Kingdom that would vote for Labour if there was a general election tomorrow. So there's some people out there that seem to think they're doing a good job. I mean, I certainly haven't met them really personally, but I mean, goodness me, I don't know how they can get behind this guy. But yeah. Anyway, guys, do let me know your thoughts on that reaction from of course being accused. What did you make of his reaction, and do you think this will rumble on? Is he guilty, and should there be an investigation into Keir Starmer and his voice coach from December 2020 as he broke COVID-19 regulations and tier 4 restrictions at the time? And do you think there should be consequences to Starmer? And actually, added on to that, do you think there will be any consequences to Keir Starmer? Either way, let me know in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This has been Dan, and this has been British Stand, and I'll see you all later. Take care. Look after yourselves.